One of the questions that comes up very frequently among clients is, what are the steps to establish a business in Japan? And I don't want to reinvent the wheel. I usually refer them to the JETRO website. But the website is maybe not very intuitive, so I just want to dive into what the advantages and what the resources are on the JETRO website, and show you how you can find the first steps to establish a business in Japan if you are planning to do so. So, going to jetro.go.jp, you click on Investing in Japan right here, and there we have Why Invest, Industries, and Setting Up a Business. And in setting up a business, you go to the How to Set Up video series, or basically any of those links, and you will find a really good resource on the first steps to start your business in Japan and incorporating your business. Now, there is a short video series on the first steps of incorporation, but they also have several tips on registration and visas, on taxation and human resources management. So it is definitely worth checking into this resource and take a quick look at the different videos before you dive into making yourself more familiar with the whole process. Now, the steps are laid out pretty nicely here in this flowchart. So from setting up a business, obtaining visas, setting up an office, personal related matters, and then setting up a place of residence. If you or your staff is planning to go and live in Japan for a subsidiary, for example, you need to have a person that actually lives in Japan. You cannot just be there on a business visa. You need to have an address in Japan, or you hire a local manager. But basically, all those points, you click on them and you go into a much more detailed explanation, from preparation to company registration and so on and so on. And basically, it gives you a step-by-step approach. This is quite a lot. So if you do have any questions in that regards, there's also a Q&A section further down. They also give you a cost estimation. So how much does it cost to open up, let's say, for example, a 2-person office in Japan, including maybe housing for one of the employees? Then this is a case study for Tokyo. And I would say, since this is fluctuating, right now the Japanese exchange rate, the Japanese yen, is above 140 yen per dollar. So this has become a lot cheaper, actually, if you want to set up a branch office in Japan. So take this with a grain of salt, or do the calculation depending on the actual exchange rate. But there's also, of course, the inflation that we have to take into consideration, although inflation in Japan is usually a lot lower than in other Western countries, or like the US or any countries in Europe. Now, going back to this part here. So basically, you can utilize JETRO to get support if you already know that you want to incorporate a business in Japan. They're very willing to help you with that. If you're still a bit far away from doing that, you can basically ask for some information, market reports, and so on, but they're usually interested in you opening up a branch office in Japan. That's how they, since they're partially government funded, that's how they receive their funding, based on the, so each office worldwide gets their funding or their objectives or their business goals or targets are to help a foreign company to open up a branch office, hire local staff, pay corporate taxes, etc., etc. So this is their objective. Now, again, it is a plethora of information. There's a lot that you can dive into. They do have a pamphlet that you can request. Basically, it's the same information as here. There's also a Q&A section, which is pretty interesting. And there is also information on living in Japan and experts finder if you need an accountant or a tax expert in Japan and so on. If you think this is a bit confusing and you don't know what the right approach is, I'm more than happy to help you. Please reach out. You'll find a contact or booking link in the in the description below. And I'll be more than happy to help you with this. But again, if you want to know the first steps on how to go to Japan, this is a really good resource. I always refer to this resource. You see here a beautiful flow chart on how to do that part and what the different points are. And it's, I would say, a great start. You will encounter some let's say, hurdles along the way. And that's what I'm here for, to help you to overcome those. Again, feel free to reach out and I'll be more than happy to guide you along the way and identify how we can make your business endeavor in Japan a success. See you in the next video.